Hello and welcome to Void Dreaming. This is a newish visual novel that came out a while ago. I say a while ago because it's like maybe a month ago. Um, from the little that I know about, because I tend to want to stay away from like all the marketing these visual novels have been doing lately. I just know that this is the main character, and they are on a ship, and it's in space, and then there's other people. That's it. Um, I do know that there was a sprite that I was going to have to heavily censor. It turns out that there was actually two, but only one of them you're going to be seeing a lot more. Only one character's sprites you're going to be seeing a lot more. What else? Space. Spaceship. It gives me Mass Effect vibes because it does have like a sort of uh, uh, like a I don't want to call it point system, but like something similar to that where it's like your backstory is going to sort of determine certain things for you at the beginning. Um and that's going to determine how certain characters are going to behave around you, I guess. But yeah, so it did give me Mass Effect vibes. What else? Not much else, I suppose. Oh, I do know you can technically play this visual novel. I say technically, but in reality, like yeah. You can play them as an ace character, or you can just go full on with the NSFW stuff. And I think for the purpose of this playthrough, and because, stuff, um, I won't play them ace because it does remove certain options and interactions, I think. But of course, the NSFW stuff will be censored or will be removed. So, like, I know some people are saying, like, well, why don't you just play them ace? Because, again, like, it does remove certain interactions and stuff. So, I kind of don't want to remove that and then have people go like, oh, well, if you didn't play it this way, then you would have seen this scene and oh my god, blah 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 blah. Text wall, text wall, text wall. Anyways, but yeah. um what else? I don't know. I'm going into this blindly as possible, but yeah. I do know that the visual novel will be updated like every 3 months. And I know that because I went through the devlog thingy where they were talking about their update schedule. Um, I think that's about it. So yeah, I should be playing the latest version. But yeah, anyways, so without further ado, let us begin Void Dreaming. Void Dreaming contains material suitable for adult readers, such as sexual content, violent content, and discussions of such topics. Like I said, certain sexual content will be removed. A full list of the content and subjects that may be encountered in the course of the story may be reviewed from the main menu. Reader discretion is advised. I understand. I am of age to view this material and I wish to continue. Are you? Are you, watcher/listener? Are you? If you're not, then go away. We're going to be doing the prologue, which allows you to set up your backstory and kind of gives you some brownie points with certain characters. Would you like to disable the metatext tutorials for various functions in the story? This is not recommended for first-time readers. What do they mean by metatext? I don't know what that is. Metatext tutorial will no longer show up. What is that? Damn. It's been a while, hasn't it? A long time since you've been on a station this dingy, this busted, this worn down. Varego, wasn't it? Varego Station. The rattle of their CO2 scrubbers just about kept you up all night. Thank the stars that it was just one night. and that they at least had functional CO2 scrubbers. These ones sound like they're about to fail at any minute. Oof. Sorry. The lynx came out of nowhere, slamming into your side hard enough to almost knock you over. Good thing that you're made of stiffer stuff than that. Watch it, Ruster. Ass. It's not worth replying. Bastard's already hurried on his way. Ruster isn't a slur that you've heard in a while, at least. Nice of the locals to keep it colorful for you. A quick pat on your side reveals your pistol and reader are still attached to your belt. Can't be too careful on a Fringe station, especially given how long it's been since you set foot on one. You wince. You got mugged last time. History better not repeat. Parting the sea of people isn't too difficult for you as you make your way towards what you hope is the rendezvous. If your contact's information was right, it should almost be in sight. The rattle of the nearby scrubbers dies as they do. Your nostrils twitch. It better be the rendezvous. The corridor opens to a larger cylindrical bay. You know from your arrival that massive mining ships can fit on the docking pads scattered around the Taurus. Stars glitter behind the MagCon field, but there is no sign of your transport. Freighters, miners, a couple of small attack crafts, pirates, you no doubt, brazen. But not your contact ship. Nothing that screams deep space exploration vessel anyway. Nor your contact. A glance around shows no one familiar, but within moments you spot a shortish rat. His eyes are on you, grinning a friendly, easy smile. A paw lifts to wave in your direction. Its clothes are a bit disheveled, but you've seen Astrogation Guild members looking scruffier, probably hard to keep clean this far away from civilization. You nod and start to make your way over to him. The sooner you're off this scrap heap, the better. Your paw brushes along your hip to feel your pistol. Best to be prepared after all, just in case. I was starting to think that you got turned around. You grimace and nod to yourself. You were starting to wonder the exact same. At least, he seems friendly. But this is Yakeshi Station. You can't trust anything or anyone at face value. Well, I'm here now. Zuberi, I presume? The rat grins wider, but the smile turns to a gasp of pain as a much, much larger paw closes around his. You wince in sympathy. The new paw belongs to another wolf. This one darker furred, broader shouldered, wrapped in a long gray coat, and not even remotely close to pleased. Shit, so the rat was a con jobber after all. Doesn't mean this wolf isn't one as well, but best to see how this plays out before you relax. Your paw inches towards your pistol. Just off, scav, now. His eyes are locked on the rat as he speaks. Your finger closes around the grip of your pistol. It might be small, but so much the better in a confined space. The people around you are watching on with interest, but none of them are moving to interfere as the rat gasps. The paw wrapped around his tightens, his grip as he writhes. Just another day on the Fringe station, you guess. All right, just let go, stars. Gonna break me paw. Your paw remains firmly on your own weapon as the wolf glares down at the rat, but he does as he asks and releases his prey. The rat squeaks once and stumbles back from him. As the rat pulls away, you can see that the wolf was holding a considerably higher grade pistol than yours in his other paw. It must have been shoved into the rat's side. You try hard not to feel pistol envy. On some level, you find yourself failing. Better hope you ain't flying this way again, star hopper. The wolf doesn't reply. He simply keeps his pistol trained on the rat, teeth bared. He follows the rat with his eyes until he's well and truly out of sight. Your own gaze tracks around. If the rat was in your contact, he might have backup nearby. No one else is moving on either of you, though. And the wolf's pistol lowers as he turns back towards you. His eyes tighten as he looks up and down, ears twitching back as he frowns for a moment. His footsteps are heavy on the deck, boots clanking on the metal floor as he makes his way over. He still seems wary of you. You can't blame him. Rael, right? Didn't get warned about the scabs. He knows your name, which makes him a little more likely to be your contact. Can't be too careful, but hey, let's see how this introduction goes. You sag a little bit and release your grip on your pistol. It's been a while since I've been on the Fringe station. Rookie mistake. I guess you're the captain I'm to meet? The wolf's smile beams far too bright for such a dismissal setting as he holsters his pistol. That's me, Zuberi, of the Void Dreamer. His eyes dip to your paw, still close to your pistol. The name and the ship are right at least. If he's not the contact, then he's got all their data. As he steps in front of you, he offers his newly emptied paw. You hesitate before you grip it. His squeeze is firm but gentle. There is a trace of the strength that nearly broke that rat's paw. Good to put a face to the name. I was surprised when the guild approved of your transfer over here. His tone is friendly, but his eyes are sharp as a monoblade. They focus in on you hard. Well, to be honest, I don't know that I'd ever thought that I'd be climbing aboard an Astrogation Guild vessel. Understatement of the era, that one. Yeah, speaking of. He watches the wolf pulls a reader from his pocket. The screen of the device lights up as he begins to tap at it. Look, I'm gonna be straight with you here. I do not trust you, but it's Yakeshi Station. Mind if I go over my data? Make sure that you're who you say you are. You wish that you had more than a name and a ship to go on yourself. It's like you were being set up to fail. You probably were, given... well, everything. No, go ahead. You look around. The crowds are mounting. But, maybe somewhere a bit quieter? The wolf laughs to himself and nods, tucking the reader back into his pocket. Reasonable. Not sure that I can offer real quiet. Not until we're pushing off. But I need to go find my Inji anyway, before they get into trouble. He turns away without another word, and you hurry along after him. He makes for a side corridor and you fall into step beside him. At least the mass of bodies is thinner here. And judging by the rattling in the wall vents, the scrubbers here are at least still working. Small favors. At least the basics are in order. Stars, I wish that they would at least give me a still to look at. Nothing's ever easy. Seems like you're not the only one who was set up to fail. Maybe this is a good match after all. The wolf looks up from his reader for a moment. Well, they got the species right. It'd be nice to have another wolf aboard. Your fur is a little bit lighter than mine, but close enough's good enough for me. I didn't know that we had to coordinate my fur. Should I get some gray dye? Hey now, don't be rude. I could still leave you behind, you know. You look around the station corridor. You can't think of many worse fates. I only meant that you look, distinguished. Refined. Good save. But I just meant that if I start shedding, I can blame you. Oh good. I love playing the scape wolf. And continuing the common treads, you're listed as male. He glances your way and looks you up and down. Unless... No, male is fine. But wears all stock, too. You bite your tongue. You also consider playing with that, and biomodding could be fun, but everyone has those thoughts, right? Right. Maybe one day you'll get adventurous and act on them, but not today. Zuberi seems satisfied with your answer. Age here is not listed, if you don't mind my asking. 28 standard, no biolock. That draws a frown from the older wolf. No? I thought most people had their first biolock in their earlier mid-20s. Well, if you've got my file, you know things are a bit more complicated than that. Yeah, fair. Can't argue with that, can I? He scrolls down to the data on his reader as he clicks his tongue. Says you're not a Psy. Installed any hardware that I should worry about? Nothing weaponized, just a bioregulator and a standard MMI neural socket. All over the counter cyberware. Fair enough. Eyes yellow, that's spot on. But hey, those could be implants. Height looks right too, at least compared to me. I'll trust the file on your weight. Bit rude to ask someone that. You let your gaze drop slightly to take in the wolf's midsection. He's definitely thicker than you there. Even if his body looks well defined, there's more than fat, you have no doubt. He's also watching you watching him. You say nothing. Well, that's the basics. Just leaves a couple of matters to attend to, so let's go over the ground rules right now. You blink. Weren't you meant to be confirming his data and your identity? What ground rules? This is Yakeshi Station. I don't doubt that you know this rep. If you hadn't, the almost incident with the rat would have done it for you. If you had never seen the station again, it'd be too soon. You nod. I'm not messing around here a millisecond longer than I need to. That means that if you're coming aboard my ship, you know what that means right here, right now. I'll ask you questions. You'll answer them honestly. They match the data, you're on my crew. They don't, you're on your ass. They don't, and you push it. You'll suck back. There's not even a hint of humor in his voice. The warmth of his greeting is gone. Zuberi's all business now, and you don't doubt a word of what he's saying. Your ship, your rules. He turns his head back towards you, and there's that crack of a smile. Good. Sounds like we might get on just fine then. How about we start on the beginning? Your file told me where you grew up. Care to remind me? So this is where you get to pick your background. Spacer, you were born and raised in the Black. Colonist, the first natural birth on Charisi Major, actually. Core Worlder, Deep Core, you came up on Tordera. Parents ran a small passenger service, mostly Fringe ward. Born on the Lady in Stalin, Mom popped me out in the cockpit, saw stars when I was first crying. Zuberi's grin widens further. Love a star child. Was the installed in a passenger shuttle? Oh, not even close. You're glad Dad's not here to hear that. Nah, she was Dad's rock hopper. A Belladrone Industries Victress. He turned it into a skip racer, and it was taking Mom for a spin when I came calling. Skip racing? With his pregnant wife? What can I say? I come from thrill seekers. Skip racing was her passion. I never picked up a knack for flying it, not like Dad. But I do love to watch it. The wolf laughs, and you can't help but smile as well. You might have found a kindred spirit. Sounds like your dad's a hell of a pilot. The Victor's stock maneuvering thrusters wouldn't cut it for skip racing otherwise. You smirk. He's a hell of a pilot, sure, but who said anything about stock? Another laugh rolls from the wolf's muzzle. Okay, I'm getting a bit distracted here, sorry. Zuberi looks around himself and you follow his gaze. There is a shop stall set up nearby. A rabbit in stained brown coveralls is arguing with the leonine shopkeeper. The wolf makes his way over to a small bench just across the corridor from the debate, and you follow along. Not the quietest place to sit, but I kinda want to see how this plays out. You frown. The argument between the shopkeep and his customer? It's a Fringe station. A gun will get pulled if they keep this up. True, but hopefully it will come to that. How about you tell me more about yourself? It's clearly not a question. He's turned around towards you, and ear and eyebrow both perked. You also can't help but notice his pistol polish free. It would be quick to draw and fire on you. You suppose his earlier threat still stands. Your file had some information about your adolescence. Made for an interesting read, though not as interesting as what came next. Punk hellraiser extraordinaire, dreamer, always had your head in the clouds, tech student. They didn't use a gifted and talented lightly. Again, I'm reminded of Mass Effect. And I believe in the first game, when I was creating the character, I ended up picking something like this one. But I always wanted to pick the tech class because of what they could do. I'm gonna go with this one. I mean, I don't know how to say it without sounding like I'm just a braggart. So say it like a braggart. We're all friends here. Unless you vac me. Unless I vac you. The wolf smirks only sets you a little at ease, but it's just enough to loosen your tongue. They didn't call me gifted and talented for nothing. Aced my classes and base schooling and earned some scholarships that got me into the Institute for Galactic Advancement. Those must have been some damn pricey scholarships. I know corporal brats who couldn't afford to get in. Unfortunately, you know a few corporal brats who could, and did. Usually they keep their standards high. I try not to lord it over people too much, but I earned it. What can I say? Quick study, love to learn, aptitude for almost everything. Greater natural humility. That too. What was your primary? What wasn't your primary? That was the problem that I had. I bounced. 1 week I was working advanced AI subroutines for neural substrates. The next it was gene editation. The next it was pre-Terran sublimination history, and the next it was transwarp harmonics, and so on and so on. I was all over the place. I couldn't focus on just one thing. I wanted to learn it all, to know it all. You'll feel heat burning in your ears as you flatten them down. Probably why they've revoked the scholarships after a couple of years. Still, even IGA dropouts got enough respectability to get somewhere in this galaxy. Usually. Never was one on the formal learning myself, but that doesn't mean that I don't respect the IGA, and I'll always have more time for someone who doesn't sit neatly in a box. Well, sitting in boxes has never been my speciality. The wolf's grin glints bright in the dim, dingy station lighting. Yeah, me neither. Zuberi leans back against the bench. His eyes flick briefly back to the confrontation between the shopkeeper and the rabbit. You're all but certain that this rabbit must be the wolf's engineer, but you're not yet figured out why Zuberi's not getting involved. Before you can open your muzzle to ask, however, Zuberi's eyes are on you again. Well, everything's in order so far, but now I guess we come to the meat of it. You gulp. His smile is jovial, but there is a wariness in his voice, not like he doesn't know what to expect, like he's waiting for something to happen. Now so are you. I don't just let anyone aboard my ship, Rael. Every one of my crew is tried and tested members of the Astrogation Guild, or someone that I've vetted personally. When I heard about your introduction to the guild, well, I had to see it for myself. What can I say? I was intrigued, curious. Oh boy, here we go. But curiosity only goes so far. I know why I chose you to come with me, so I want to hear the story from you. What brought you here? Ex-pirate, shit. Colonial administrator, fuck. Innovator. Oh, here we fucking go again. I don't think a nerd like the character that I just made would be a pirate. He might be an administrator, but I don't think he would be somebody that would just sit down, so he would be an innovator. It's not as bad as they said, I swear. I don't know. They said a lot. Of course they did. Big on mouth and small on understanding. You pause for a moment to sigh. You should have known that there'd be a confrontation, but you didn't expect it to be before you even set foot on Zuberi's ship. What do you want me to say? The wolf shrugs. His eyes never leave you. I just want to understand. I don't think that it's all there in the file. The file. You scoff. Files are for chair jocks and corporal shills. You operate an Astrogation Guild ship. You know how dangerous your job is. It can get a bit difficult, I suppose. If there's ever been a more diplomatic answer, you've never heard one. Running into pirates is difficult. Gravitic distortion destabilizing your casual anchor at point 8C is an order of magnitude worse. Thank you very much. Depends on the pirate. You freeze up at that. He's joking, right? Surely he's joking. The threat of a pirate blowing your shit out of the sky and the threat of a disrupted casual anchor are... They're actually pretty similar, at least on a personal scale. You're not entirely wrong, technically speaking. Not that you're wrong either. I've invested a small fortune in our navigational systems and personnel. That much you understand well. If the reports on Zuberi's ship are to be believed, not a word of that is a lie. You can't wait to see it. So that's what I do. You've got the best hardware and the best wetware, but I developed soft, best stuff in the galaxy. Civilian contracts, military contracts, corporal contracts. Good money in that. The best money in that. But that's not why I do it. I do it because I like doing it. The wolf doesn't look convinced. The money's nice, don't get me wrong. It helps fund my efforts, lets me push forward harder, further, faster, get more done. Until something breaks, right? You wince. That's exactly right. Yeah. People died. I know that. They blame you. I blame me too. That's why I'm here. You feel your jaw clench and your teeth grind. The wolf is watching you like a pre-ascendant hunter stalking prey. It's unnerving. I want to say that it's not my fault. There's even compelling evidence that the file completely glosses over the code on the ship when it... Your breath catches in your throat for a moment. Zuberi is watching you closely. You can't speak the words, so you choose some different ones. That was my code. But it wasn't my code. Something was different. Wrong. Scrambled data from the explosion. That's what the file said. That's what the experts said. You know better. Yeah. Look, some people justify or downplay it. That it was just one ship, one crew. I don't care. It was one ship and one crew too many. It was my programming that failed, not the crew. I need to know what went wrong, what I did wrong. I'm not looking for your absolution, and I'm not looking for your pity, or contempt, or anything else like that. It's why I've forgone my fee, my life, why I'm here. The wolf doesn't like that. You're here because I'm letting you be here. You don't get on my ship until I'm satisfied. You start to wonder when was the last time that someone satisfied him. You thought that you were doing well until your past employment came up. Then you should be satisfied. I'm here. I'll be aboard with you. I'll be able to monitor it in real time, chase any problems, stop them before they start. Besides, you think that I'm going to risk my own life along with the lives of your crew? If you think that I'm only in it for the money or the glory, why would I come here in person? How about ego? You've got to admit, that is a fair answer. And it's not like you didn't have a planet-sized ego before recent events humbled you somewhat. I don't got the luxury of ego. Not anymore. You shudder. Zuberi's gnarled left ear twitches. What happened is... it's always gonna stay with me. It was my fault. No matter what happened, clearly I made mistakes. Deadly mistakes. But the whole reason that I'm here is because I know that I can find what went wrong. I know that I can fix the algorithm, help AG ships navigate the unknown reaches of space safely. I know the soft's good. That's why I'm here, because no one will believe me if I don't put my own neck on the line, prove that it wasn't in vain. He's still watching you just as hard, but his eyes seem softer. Maybe you're getting through, or maybe he's getting ready to boot you. Captain Zuberi, sir, I don't know why you're still taking me after what happened. I don't know how I can convince you that it's a good idea, but you must already think it is. I do. Wait, what? You do? I do, yes. You made a mistake. You're putting your neck on the line to prove that you fixed it. Just like you said. I respect that, and I know how important the work is. Thank you? That's not enough. Less thank you. But it's a start, and it's the sort of thing that I'm willing to work with, as long as you're just as willing to put the work in. That's an unusually charitable response, given the fallout of your last attempt. It'd be suspicious if your alternative wasn't being stranded on the Yakeshi Station with a ruined reputation. I tell you that I won't let you down, but I wouldn't believe me if I said that. I'd believe it. The wolf's either got an excess of faith in people, or he's not as sharp as you thought. Or both. It could always be both. Well then, I promise that I'll do everything in my power to not let you and your crew down. Zuberi, sir. Just Zuberi is fine. There's no need to stand on ceremony on my ship. The choices you have made have resulted in the following skill values for Rael. 5 is an average. Rael's physical skill is 4. Rael's mind skill is 7. Rael's tech skill is 8. Rael's starship skill is 7. Rael's social skill is 4. Rael's weapon skill is 5. Yeah. The wolf stands up just as the argument between the shopkeep and the rabbit reach a breaking point. Their shouts rise over the station din. I said it before and I'll say it again. No, not at that price. Now dust off or show me that cred. Sam? You stand up as the rabbit, a bit more androgynous than you'd first expected, turns towards you. Their eyes lock on Zuberi and narrow, as if irritated. Let it go, Sam. She's ripping us off, Z. We'll take our business elsewhere. Just walk away. You stand there on my plot and have the gall to call me a con jobber? Where do you get the stones, long ears? The rabbit's eyes burn so bright with rage that you fear the line must have burst into flames from their glare alone. Oh no. Oh, what? This. This becomes apparent a moment later as Sam leans over the counter to deck the shopkeeper across his muzzle with a sharp right hook. The lion roars in pain and surprise as Sam bounces back, ears and whiskers twitching madly. The shopkeeper tumbles down behind his stall. Your eyes go wide. Still want to see my stones, conjobber? Or maybe Knuckler's all ice? Shit, this can only end badly. Captain? The wolf is already on it. He bounds over towards Sam and grabs the rabbit around the waist with one thick arm. Sam continues to spit threats and bile at the lion as Zuberi backpedals towards you. As soon as he reaches your side again, he reaches his free paw down to his belt. Sam continues to struggle in his other arm. Oba, you better have our exit right now. 3. A sharp feminine voice chimes from somewhere on Zuberi's belt. Oh, you picked up the stray after all. I do hope that this one is better house-trained than Ms. Excuse me? Stray? We're gonna be picking up weapon fire in a few seconds, Oba. Less attitude, please. Shouldn't we run? To the dock? Your ship? Safety? We're fine. We are most certainly not fine. Sam? Again? Sam. Again. Don't you fucking again me. And you. We're not done here, conjobber. That's not helpful, Sam. This is becoming tiring, Captain. Neither Zuberi nor this Oba seem bothered. Sam, on the other paw, clearly wants to continue the fight. Ahead, the Leonin shopkeeper has picked himself up and grasps hold of a rifle. It whirls as it powers up. Captain? Now, Oba. A finger closes on the shopkeeper's firing stud, but you don't get to see the flash of its fire. Your vision vanishes in a sea of white as everything in your head turns to static. You feel like falling. For a millisecond, you feel nothing else. When the light fades, you're no longer on the station. You blink the spots out of your eyes as you realize that you've been displaced, teleported from one location to the other. You turn your gaze on Zuberi with new appreciation. You... what? The wolf just smiles as he sets the still struggling Sam down, boots first on the deck. You seem to be in a round, empty room, probably used specifically for displacement. The walls gleam white, clean and clearly lovingly maintained. 2 doors rest at opposite ends of the room. As the walls rise up to a domed ceiling, a control panel glows softly behind the captain. Your eyes, however, lift up the walls to that dome, and your jaw falls momentarily slack. Stars fill your view instead as the dome resolves into a large virtual viewport. You can't even see the station. How far were you just displaced? Your muzzle opens, full of questions, just begging to be asked. Zuberi can only smile back at you as Sam pulls free and stumbles to the side. Why dock when you've got the best displacement tech and sensor suit in the known galaxy? Welcome aboard the Void Dreamer, Rael. The rabbit grumbles and brushes themselves down as you continue to look about the... what? Lobby? Cargo receptor? Displacement platform? I could have taken him. I know, Sam. I would have fucking liked it. You turn back to your new captain and his engineer. The latter is glaring at the former, who just looks tired. I know that too, Sam. But we're not exactly making a good impression on our new guest. Don't you want to say hello? Sam turns to look you over for the first time since you spotted them. The rabbit actually gives an appraising nod as they lock eyes, albeit briefly, on you. Oh, hey. Yeah, you're the Star Child Z picked up, aren't you? You haven't been called a Star Child in years. Well, years before when Zuberi just did. Yeah, born and raised in the Black. Never saw Atmo until I was 6 years old. Got you beat. I was 9 when I first went dirt side. They turned to nod at Zuberi. Maybe your taste in crew's getting better, Z. Or at least less shit. Zuberi's ears perk up. His tail even twitches, albeit only slightly. Does this mean that you might actually come out of your lair once in a while? Let's not get carried away. The rabbit's muzzle twitches again as they look your way. But hey, never say never, yeah. See you around, you guy. Yeah, hope so. The rabbit brushes himself down again, straightening their coveralls after being handled by Zuberi. They also nod to their captain before heading to the door to your right. It slides smoothly open and then they step through it, and Zuberi shakes his head slowly to himself as the door closes again. I think that's the friendliest that they've ever been with a new crewmate. My raw animal magnetism wins the day again, I suppose. Oh yeah, that's definitely what it was. You both stare at the door for a few seconds after Sam leaves before Zuberi turns back to you again. Probably should let you know now. I figured that I wouldn't be leaving you behind, so I took the liberty of having your belongings displaced to your room. You don't remember telling Zuberi where exactly you stowed your meager personal effects, but the wolf holds up a paw as if ready for the question. Postmaster owed me a favor. Had your movements mapped as soon as we dropped out of warp space. That's a hell of a favor. But thanks again. Where's my room? Just down here. All the crew quarters are down the hall. Just through there. He nods towards the door Sam didn't use. You'll have a chance to check everything out shortly, but I'm completely certain that it's all there. It's not like you had all that much to begin with. No, I guess I didn't. In fact, most of what you still own is on your person right now. You'd feel worried as Zuberi's ship didn't seem so top of the line. You said that this was called the Void Dreamer? Sure is. My pride, my joy. She started life as a Shershan Dynamics Exultant 2, but she's a lot more than that now. You whistle long and low. They only made about 500 Exultant 2s, didn't they? And scrapped the line after the Exultant 3. Too difficult to maintain, too expensive to fly. Just about bankrupted Shershan. AG pays you that well? Zuberi shrugs as he looks up around the pristine room. Every bulkhead gleams. No, but she's home. You don't just toss your home because she's a bit difficult to manage. No, of course not. I knew you'd understand. He leans back against one of the walls and rubs at it affectionately. The ship was all I had. I'm lucky to have a great crew and a great job as well, but she's always been there for me. She'll always be number 2 though, even if it's a close contest. She'll never beat out the most important thing in my life. He smirks as you tilt your head. He can't leave a line like that hanging. Come on, don't make me beg. Sorry. My kids, obviously. Rolik and Brysha. Stick around long enough after this tour and you might even get to meet them. They're not on board? He laughs at that. Stars, no. They're full grown and living their own lives. We keep in regular contact. There is a little hitch in Zuberi's voice as he says that. You suspect the contact isn't quite as regular as he would like. And their mother? That makes his expression sour. She's outliving her own life too. We're also in regular contact. Sore spot. Noted. Alright, no sense in stalling it. Out of the cooker, onto the hot plate, huh? It's time that you meet... Kalia? Come on. The note of tiredness in his voice has a new edge to it. Suddenly you're worried. Nevertheless, you fall into step behind the wolf as he leads you towards the other door, and through it into a corridor lined with further doors. And who is Kalia? My 2IC, second in command, and undisputed queen of second shift. He pauses for a moment to glance at your confused expression. I have not explained myself well. You have not? He smiles and feel yourself smiling as well. It's infectious. Sorry, guess I got a bit carried away talking with you. Happens, I have that effect on people. See, I run ship time aboard the Dreamer in 3 shifts. First shift, second shift, and third shift. He resumes his languid pace down the corridor. You follow, nodding along. Simple enough so far. First shift I run. That's me on the bridge with Miz. Kaying Miz. You'll meet him later, on sensor duties. Tulamini's there too, but she's a special case, you'll see. Not ominous at all. Then there's second shift. Caliate runs that from the sensors, while our doctor, Bromka, takes the helm. Again, Zuberi eyes you. There is a more intense glint in his stare this time. And no, don't even ask. It'll be a while before I'm willing to let you take the helm. Bromka is the only one besides me who flies the Dreamer.
Only because I can't.
That's the same voice that you heard from Zuberi's belt, Oba, the one who displaced you aboard. Now that you've heard it again, you can just barely detect the telltale hint of static in her speech that gives her away. That's an integrated class 3.
Excuse me. Don't you talk to me like I'm just some thing, you insolent little flesh bag.
Zuberi winces and sighs. Be nice, Oba.
Stow that. He owes me the apology.
Clearly the captain gives his simulants a lot more personality than most. Or maybe he didn't. You've heard of them being mouthy but never rude. Sorry, Oba? From above comes a blast of static, the blowing of a digital raspberry. Don't mind her. Oba is my onboard artificial assistant.
He is terrible at naming things, and also me. I still don't know why you never took my suggestion for the genius that it is.
Anastasia, Conqueror of Worlds, doesn't have the same ring to it, dear.
Says you. No accounting for taste, is there?
You cannot but smile. This simulant definitely has more personality than any that you've ever encountered. She's remarkable.
Oh, so Shivery isn't dead. Nice save, Stray. Keep that up if you please.
Your eyes turn to Zuberi in time to see the resigned shake of his head. Oba is, a unique simulant. You're absolutely right that she started life as a regular biomech Service Solutions Class 3 simulant.
For a given value of regular.
We were caught in an ion storm 2 years ago while navigating a nebula. Her core matrix was fried while she was helping route critical systems.
Phenomenal digital consciousness and all that.
That explains it. The voice still has the slight markers of a simulant, but her personality is so much more. Well, unhinged is the word that comes to mind. I'm still not entirely sure if she's crossed the threshold from simulant to sapient.
I'll never tell. That is a lie. I tell him all the time, but he doesn't believe me.
A true machine sapience would be a miracle. It would also be incredibly illegal. You know, Oba, if your BSS uplink is still active, we severed that right after the incident, before her next maintenance cycle.
You think that we want BSS dropping out of warp space to take me away? Poke and prod at my code? Perish the thought.
She blows another static raspberry. If she's alive, I want to keep her that way. If she's not, there's no harm. Oba is suspiciously silent there. Zuberi coughs a few moments later. As far as I know. Still, this does mean that Oba is, as he said, a very unique simulant. Looking at her core matrix could be incredibly interesting. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I would love to have a look at your primary system sometime if you don't mind. I promise that I'd be gentle. She gasps.
We've only just met, Stray. Buy a lady dinner first, figuratively speaking.
I doubt that I could afford you.
Oh, I like this one.
Zuberi even starts to smile.
You keep that up, Stray, and maybe you'll get the chance.
Sounds good. Any chance that you'll actually use my name?
That depends. Any chance you'll use mine?
Zuberi's eyes widen and he shakes his head vigorously. His smile has vanished. If anyone starts calling you Anastasia, I'll displace your core into a star myself.
Killjoy.
Anyway, whatever Oba is, she's an essential member of this crew, I expect you'll treat her as you'd like to be treated. I think I can manage that.
You better.
Zuberi sighs again. Could you please assist Bromkin and Tolmeni with our departure? There is a silence for a few moments. And a few more. Zuberi starts to frown.
Oh, were you talking to me?
The wolf buries his face in his paws.
I'm doing. Have your privacy then. Enjoy your little meeting conversations.
Whatever projector produced her voice clicks once, and Zuberi visibly sags. I love her, but she can be a lot of work. I can see that. And she does, as hard as it is to be believed, respect your privacy. She doesn't record anything outside of a standard security protocol data. You're tempted to point out that such an unstable simulant might be doing it anyway, without his knowledge. How would he know after all? You do not tell him this. You, in fact, do your best to put the thoughts as far out of your mind as you possibly can. Your quarters are unmonitored, but all Galnet activity, as long as we're still in range, is logged. I hope that's no problem. Not at all. And, unmonitored or not, Oba's still fully integrated into the ship. She won't log anything in your quarters, but she's just a shot away. That's only moderately concerning, but you nod along anyway. I think I can handle that. Well, if you can't, you can just let me know. I don't want you feeling uncomfortable if I can help it. Appreciate that. Thanks. Oh. Zuberi slaps a paw to his forehead and sighs. The sound echoes back down the corridor. Right. Third shift. We don't really have the crew for a third, fully operational shift, so we don't even try. Usually first shift workers sleep during the second shift and vice versa. Alright, so what's so special about third shift? It's special because I don't expect work during it. Then how's it really a shift? The wolf chuckles softly as he continues on down the corridor. It's not really, but it gives the ship day a nice structure, I think. It also gives all the crew a chance to be social with one another, if they want to. You got the distinct impression that Sam's not the sort of crew to usually care about such things. But then you also get the impression that they might make an exception for you, something worth considering. That, if they want to, is doing some work there. What can I say? Everyone's got their own social tolerances. Speaking of, the wolf turns more fully to face you as he reaches a door at the end of the corridor. You know these ships operate in the black for months at a time. We're self-sufficient and don't get out much. Air's pretty thin out here. And so is the social life. I want to make something clear to you right now. And if you don't like it, you can still leave. It's not exactly the most enticing way to work up what could be essential information. On the other paw, you're not exactly thrilled to go back to Yakeshi, so I'm not going anywhere, not unless you make me. Zuberi nods his approval. We're all adults here. We all got needs and urges. Oh. He's giving you the talk now. It wasn't even in the top thoughts in your mind, the way that your life's been lately. You're not even considering it. Though, in hindsight, he makes a fair point. Stuck with a small crew for a long time. Sure. Why not hook up? Plenty of people would. Aside from the obvious issue, if you have a falling out, of course, awkward at the best of times, but stuck in the middle of nowhere together? Ugh. I'm not here to rut my way through your crew, I promise. He laughs harder than you thought you would have expected. You must have hit a nerve. Some of them could use it, trust me. So this is the part where you are asked if you would like to continue with the Rael presenting as asexual and uninterested in sexual intercourse. I would say that for YouTube, this would be the best option because it just glosses over every single little, like little interaction that I would have to censor. But I kind of feel that if you do that, then you miss up some important little things here and there. And I'm not exactly sure if this also changes how you interact with the character specifically, because you also get the option to pursue things with certain characters. Like, you can actually pursue something with the captain, with Sam, and any of the other characters, but I don't know if picking this option will limit that or just remove it. So I'm gonna go for this one and just edit anything that I have to, because I'm already used to it with all the other visual novels. Romance interactions with all the characters are viable. Selections may be made on a case-by-case basis, as per your preference, as you meet and interact with other characters. What I'm trying to say is that you might see things from time to time. I just want to make sure that you're not surprised. I would definitely not say that. Yeah, nothing could surprise me at this point. Zuberi snorts a quick laugh. You know, some of them might take that as a challenge. Maybe they should. And maybe they should. Just as long as you remember that if they set boundaries, I expect you to adhere to them. And that if you set boundaries and someone isn't adhering to them, you come to me right away. Understood. You won't have any problems from me, I promise you. Good. Zuberi lifts a paw to pat at the door. And with that out of the way, here we are, a place where all the magic happens, the bridge. The door recedes into the floor for a moment later to reveal the Void Dreamer's bridge. And that's where I'm going to leave it for today. So we met the captain, Zuberi. I'm not really sure how to pronounce his name. That's like not new. I'm not really sure how to pronounce most characters' names for most of the visual novels that I read. We were introduced to Sam briefly, who seems to have a bit of a hot temper. They also appear to be non-binary. Yeah. We also were introduced to Oba, who is the ship's onboard simulant, which I guess is another word for like an AI. And I'm assuming that they're supposed to be more so a virtual AI, or no, a virtual intelligence, as opposed to like an actual sentient intelligence. But yeah. And admittedly, for the prologue part of the story, because I already read chapter 1, 2, it's already recorded and everything, it's just I need to sit down and edit it. I'm not looking forward to that. But admittedly, for the prologue, the story does remind me of Mass Effect, specifically Mass Effect 2 and 3. And this portion reminds me, at least at the very beginning, reminded me of Omega, which is sort of like a outlaw station run by an Asari, which is like a blue alien girl. And even the name Yakeshi Station reminded me of one of the, I guess you could call him well, not really a character, but like a subspecies of alien from that game, which are called Yakshi, which are like sexual vampires. But yeah, there's like a lot of little things here and there in the story so far that remind me of Mass Effect. Particularly Oba, and then eventually Telmani. Like I said, I don't know how to pronounce these characters' names, so I'm sorry. But yeah, so so far the captain seems to be agreeable. I like the whole little section where you can sort of pick your background, which again, Mass Effect or what was it, EA games? Is it EA games or Activision? I forget which one it is. I just know Mass Effect. But yeah, so I so far interesting. But yeah. So what are your thoughts? Write down in the comments, and thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play Void Dreaming yourself, you can do so by going down to the link in the description, which should have a link for the itch.io page where you can download the game and play it yourself. And if they do have their Patreon up and running by now, by the time that I upload this, then that link will be down in the description as well. What else? What else? What else? Also, become a channel member if you want. That link will be down in the description as well. Oh, but it's usually also like literally right below the video, and it's also on the main page of the YouTube profile. It's like right there. It does help support the channel. It does help support me. It does actually really help. And I'm very thankful to all the people that, have decided to support me and continue to support me. And yeah. Also Ko-fi in case you want to do it through there. I do have a throne in case you want to, buy me a book or technically a series of books because that's what I have on there now. What else? But yeah, so I guess I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.